I'm sort of back to watching the ID channel, and right now, Unusual Suspects is on. So I came to the website because I wanted to check if I could get the episode that's now playing. They started charging for episodes, and well, I'm not going to go start that. I've got plenty of TV and Netflix and YouTube and a stash of DVDs that I don't need to be doing that. So, but it occurred to me while I was sitting on the couch that a lot of these shows contain actual footage from police stations, and they intermingle crime scene footage and images too, which quite a lot of times is above and over the line. But if you watch this kind of thing, you watch this kind of thing. Anyhow, along the lines of frequencies that I had posted a little bit about yesterday and the day before, it's a regular topic, but when I hit on a new bit of information, I'll grab that, run with it, see where it takes me. But anyway, I started figuring things out when I'm sitting there on the couch, away from the computer, just watching the show, and then the clips of the police station, different ones, in different eras. But, and I've always seen things a little bit differently than most other people, that a lot of people cannot figure me out, but that's okay. It's a hazard sometimes, but not always. So it balances out. Excuse me. Do you think it's possible that I start figuring these things out because within these old recordings, they're picking up frequencies that were at the time being modulated, and they are captured on those old video clips, movie clips. And so when I'm sitting there just watching and those clips play through, do you suppose that's why I'm starting to figure things out? I know that's a strange question. I know. This, you just saw a page before I came to this one. mysticbroadcast.net. I found this a couple days ago, and it's pretty good actually. Some good information on here. But see, excuse me again, I'm drinking soda and eating chips and dip a little bit ago on the couch. If we use the bind key, veterans appears once on this page. Even if I shorten it to veteran, it's still just going to show up one time on this page. Well, Veterans Affairs, just a second, let me back up. Veterans Affairs, GSA, which is Government Service Authority, and Department of Energy. It says right here, 127.3 is the frequency. These three piggyback each other. And I went further with that search. There's a number of different departments and different agencies that use that frequency, 1273, Keep that in mind, please. Okay? I think that will be our next search term right here for the find key. Just keep telling yourself the find key is my friend and it will help you. Well, it's the only one showing up on this page right now. Sometimes if you put a space, you'll get more or less. But I had these other ones, and I sent them to someone. And there was another interesting thing on this page. What was it now? A second. Alright, I thought of my term to use up here in the find box. In order to keep their signals to their implanted victim secret, the network employs a tactic called piggybacking, where they piggyback their own audio transmission onto standard FM frequencies. Canal is the acronym for a system that is used simultaneously for transmission and reception via the use of a double frequency shift keying DFS. Double frequency shift keying. Radio transmitters that send quick signals are variously called burst, squirt, squash, or high-speed transmitters. And I should turn up the TV while this is on, when this is on an actual police station footage thing in this Deadly Desires on ID show. Maybe you could hear it too. That's what I want you to do. I want you to put it on ID, Investigation Discovery, a lot of crime shows, and just listen to when they come to a part where they have used actual footage. And I believe the frequency has been recorded. And that's how some of us figure things out. Then you've got someone like me who's been sensory deprived. And everyone knows when you're sensory deprived, your mind has to concoct parts of what have been missed. You know, so you're not so much clueless. Your brain wants you to know the whole story, but if it's being deliberately cut off, well, I guess you could do it yourself too, then your brain's going to kick into overtime to try to fill in that gap instead of just having a bright light, or if you're locked in the light away from the dark, it's going to be reversed. You know, because sometimes they use sensory deprivation to keep people awake with the lights. Well, it wasn't used on me that way when I was a kid. It was at one point when I had to go to treatment after they killed my son, my first son. And you might not want to look at it like it was murder, but I do, because I had tried to tell them that something was wrong with him, and they laughed in my face and told me I was hysterical. Well, a brief time later, he's dead. And what they want to do? They wanted to put me in prison for it, is what I was told at the ER that day. Yeah, and my husband stepped forward and said, "Why don't you get an autopsy?" Because I don't believe they would have. They would have just slammed a decision on me. You know how they are. They rush things just to get done with it. And autopsies, they're ugly, but when it's necessary, it's necessary. And that wasn't the first time they wanted to put me in prison either. Well, wait a minute. It was the first time, but there were other times. There was the time when we had locks that we put on, that we were ordered to put on. Then after we got them on there and they checked them and said it was okay, they wanted to put me in prison for putting them on there. So that, and then when Bradley died, when he was on the monitor, he's son number two actually, and my husband was in the Bothwell Hospital with a heart problem, and my Uncle John was in ICU because he was deathly sick, and my mom and dad were off at a letter carriers convention in Joplin, Missouri, so I was pretty much left on my own, and they called and asked me if they should do a surgery on my Uncle John to find out what was wrong with him, and I went ahead and told them to go ahead and do it. And during that time, Bradley died, and I was on chlorpromazine, if you can imagine that, and had gone to bed for the evening, and he was asleep in his crib in his room across the hall. In the back of my mind, I could hear the monitor as I dozed off and went under the effects of that chlorpromazine. I believe it was 50 milligrams, but that's been 27, almost 28 years ago. But I kept telling myself, get up, get up, get up, and I finally did, which is a miracle. Went in there. Bradley's blue. I pick him up, and we had been made to take CPR, even though I'd had it in swimming and in scouts and health class and whatnot. We took it anyway to please them, but it wouldn't come to me at that moment. So I shook Bradley. So we're lucky he didn't get shaken baby syndrome. Gently, of course, kind of like, because I knew if he died going by the first one that they wanted to put me in prison then, that they were definitely going to put me in prison for that. And I was in a real fix right then. So he didn't die. He came back screaming, which is so Bradley, you know. Come back screaming. Don't listen to this, Bradley. You'll get mad at me. But these are things I haven't been able to forget because they have totally dominated my waking hour. Um, if he had died, I would have gone to prison. That's just the bottom freaking line. And not only did I not want my son to die, I didn't want to go to prison because I had told them that there was something was wrong with him, and they said it was all in my head. I was hysterical to go home and enjoy being a mom. So that's why I look at it like it was murder, because they wouldn't listen to me tell them that something was wrong with him. But most definitely would have charged me with murder if he had died of whatever, before we knew it was SID, sudden infant death syndrome. It was just me, the hysterical mom, uh, coming off off the bridge, coming off her beam, saying, "Oh, there's something wrong with my kid. There's something wrong with my kid." Wasn't like that. There was something wrong with my child. And so, yeah, I am not impressed with Sedalia, and there are a lot more reasons why I am not impressed with Sedalia. But we're down to just under 15 minutes now. Excuse me. So I'll have to come back to do another part of this. I'm sorry. I get to stammering, I get to coughing, my brain damage kicks in, my trauma and PTSD kicks in, everything but perfection will kick in. But lucky you, I can laugh about it just a little, because I know that keeps me sane. If you can laugh, please do. Thank you.